what you do, the free medical service. Yes. And that's the reason I'm asking for equipment, because then you must be able to put together equipment. Medical supplies are expensive and all of that. And sometimes with some patients, you actually need to, they have to keep coming for a long time. It's not as if it's a one-off encounter and then they are gone. And I'm wondering how you are able to keep all of that going and giving them drugs and attention and medication. And you rely basically on providence.
Yes. It has worked for 20 years.
You've been doing this for 20 years?
Yes, sir.
Wow. No, seriously, how's that possible?
It's possible. It's
because I'm sure there are a lot of people who also would love to do this, but don't know how. How are you able to do it?
As I told you, divine providence, you have to have a belief in God, that there is a God who can do anything, and that you, even you yourself, can be an instrument of divine providence for us. People see, they observe, and they are touched, and they want to be part of it. They may not have the time, so they may give some of their resources, and with these resources, a little bit from you, from this other person, from this other person, from various people, we put together, and this has been able to go on day in and day out for that long.
What got you to do this?
Two things: my faith in God and my desire to be happy. I wanted to be happy, so I followed my heart. I wanted to do something beautiful for other people, and in doing so, like a boomerang, I got the joy that I had given to other people.
And when did you decide to do this?
1991.
91?
Yes, sir.
You just decided that you're going to go into this?
Well, not exactly. I opted out completely. I had been thinking about it ever since I was a young child. It has something to do with my own past. I come from an extremely poor family, and I wanted to give to myself what I should have been given as a kid, to do the people now who are suffering poverty. And so I thought, if I grew up, I want to have to be able to reach out to those who are poor in society. Initially, I wanted to just make a lot of money and give to people here and there. But you know, it's difficult to just look at the person's exterior and think that this person is poor. You may not know for sure. Now we have ideas from experience to tell who are poor and who are not so poor. But you know, initially, at that time, I did not know. Gradually, my thinking changed, and I realized that a person who was in need of health care in a very deprived area was indeed a poor person. And so I decided to do medicine with the advice of people here and there.
So you became a doctor simply because of this?
Yes, please, yes.
Really?
Yes, sir.
When did you go to medical school?
I went to medical school in October 1973.
How old were you?
I was about 22.
About 22 years old. Yes. And at that prime age, you were going to study a course just so you could provide free medical service to people?
Yes.
That's strange.
Well, if you look at it, yes, it's strange. But if you look at the way I have been brought up, maybe it's not that strange. I am the only survivor of 11 children. 10 others all died of poverty-related diseases. So I knew what poverty is by experience. And I wanted to alleviate this poverty in the other people I could reach out if it was possible. So I decided that as early as that age that I would want to do medicine to reach out to these people.
That time, were your 10 other siblings dead when you were 22?
Well, at the time I had only one sibling alive. But even that one was on her way out because in those days we had what we called the sixth form. By the time I was in sixth form, my parents were still very poor. And that little one died 2-3 years later also. So
you were number what out of the 11?
Number 2.
Number 2. Interesting. I'm wondering why the icy hands of death skipped you from number 1, jumped over you, and went to 3 all the way to 11. What set you apart?
True. I asked God the same question. It didn't make sense to me. As a kid, I was made to believe that if you die young, then you become an angel afterwards. But if you died old, then you had the chance of sinning and then the possibility of not becoming an angel, but going to heaven or hell. I didn't want to go to hell. But I also knew that growing up meant that I had the possibility of going to hell. So I asked God, why did you take all my brothers and sisters to become angels and allowed me to grow? I scavenged on dunghills to live, but still I survived. So I think I survived by divine providence. I didn't know why, but I think years later, I got to understand why. Now I feel that this was the purpose for which I was left behind.
To save humanity. What killed your siblings?
Anemia, hunger, simple: undernutrition and malnutrition. Undernutrition, we never had enough to eat. Malnutrition, we ate the wrong food. And so at the slightest hit of infection, they just tipped off. Measles was a common killer of a number of my brothers and sisters.
Okay. Where in Ghana was this?
Tamale.
In Tamale, yes, exactly where you practice?
Yes, please, yes.
Okay, but Tamale is supposed to be one of the good places, so to speak, or it quite wasn't in the days when you're growing up?
It's a good place, so to speak, but when you look underground, you still never see a lot of poverty. Even in Accra here, I know in Accra here, there are a number of places where people cannot get a good meal a day, not even a good meal, just a meal a day. They have difficulties in Accra here. So even though in the society gives a good picture of so many good people, rich people, there are still poor people who will not show themselves. They may not be overt beggars, but in fact they are struggling day in and day out. And we know it by experience.
The situation you describe, is it the same in Tamale today for some people?
Yes, please. Yes.
Where families are losing children to these same poverty-related diseases?
I should think so, yes. Yes, I know it because we besides the clinical work, we also serve people purely just giving them food to eat, just a meal to eat. Yes.
You give meals as well?
Yes,
people
sir.
who are not unwell, but they basically are hungry?
Yes.
And you provide meals for them?
Yes.
Really? And that is also based on donations?
Yes, sir.
Still based on donations. And how often do you do that for them?
Every day.
How do you identify them?
There are two groups of people we give a meal at least every day to. They're very poor and destitute, who actually find their way to our place and nobody really cares about them. They stay with us. Abandoned HIV victims that nobody really wants, and they stay with us. And then the mentally handicapped who are roaming the streets of Tamale. These people get a meal every day. In fact, the destitutes who stay with us get 3 meals a day.
Interesting. You provide shelter for them?
Yes. They have a place where they stay, and we give them clothing and food. If we can contact a relation, we ask if it's possible for them to be given the help that they need. But if we can't contact a relation, we just stay with them for as long as they want. The most important factor in our place is freedom. You are free to come, you are free to go. Both the benefactors and the beneficiaries. Yeah.
So those who work with you, the 27, are they paid?
No.
It's for free?
Yes, sir.
How do they make a living?
Well, we share whatever we get. There is in the Bible the early Christian teaching that very early Christians came together with whatever they had and they redistributed it according to need. Equitable distribution, not equal distribution. Equitable distribution is important. And also, if anybody who has a problem, then we consider it our problem. And by that, we mobilize resources to see if we can help that person to overcome that problem. And because it's free, they are welcome to stay or to go. There's no pressure that you must stay or look for this. And if they choose to stay, they must find it useful. So we share. We eat part of the food that the mentally ill people eat every day for our lunch. We have a tea break, just depending upon whatever donations we can lay hands on. And so far, so good.
And do you have people leaving simply because they are not seeing their pockets swelling up with money?
Yes, a few have left.
Because that's a natural, it must be a natural tendency.
Yes, a few have left. We've had people who came hoping that, because in course people see us giving food, clothing and shelter to people and organizing good Christmas parties for the poor, we must have a lot of money. And when they come, they find it's not much at all, and they may leave. But there are others who have come, and for the joy and the peace that they experience, they stay.
I want to know a little bit about you personally now. What year were you born and how old are you?
I think I was born in 1951. I think I'm 61.
You put I think there twice.
Yes.
And it's suggestive.
Yes, that I didn't know my exact date of birth. So I had to choose a date of birth. And I did, yes, because it was not possible. In the days when we used to go to school, you were sent to school not based on your date of birth, but whether your hand could reach your other ear or not. Yes. But then I had to get a birthday. So I got my people to come and they described events that led me to suggest some particular year and some particular date. Luckily, when I went to confirm my date of baptism and my expected birth of date by the local church where I was baptized, it coincided with 1951. So I took 1951 as my year of birth.
Interesting. But how did you arrive at a day and a month?
Sure, I just chose it. You wouldn't believe it. I have 4 birthdays as a result of that. 4 birthdays, but I used only one official birthday. Right. The first birthday is I used 18 December because that was the nearest to what I thought the people had described. Okay, but I also have a birthday that I call my spiritual birthday. It's on the 7th of October. I don't celebrate it, or I don't have anything to do with it. It's just for myself and the people who are, if you want, my inner ring of spiritual relatives. We share those days. Then I also have my lunar birthday, which is on the 1st of a certain month, which of course the lunar month moves, as you know, with the Gregorian calendar. Then the lunar months are not the same, so it keeps changing. And what may be first this year, next year may be about the 11th or something like that, or maybe the 21st. So that one is also there, but it's only because my mother told me you were born on this day. But that's about all.
Yes. Interesting. So you're 60, 61?
I think so.
Thereabout. And okay. Your parents were not educated, I'm sure.
No, my father was a leper, my mother was a beggar. They never went to school.
Really? Yeah. Your father a leper, your mother a beggar? Yes. And are they alive?
No. They both died. My father died in 1974, my mother in 1998, 99.
Oh, so your mother at least lived to see you as an adult?
Yes.
But your dad died quite early, yes, when you were young. What do you remember of them? Especially your father who passed on quite early.
My father, he was a disciplinarian. Okay. And he insisted that, what if things went wrong, they were wrong, and I should admit that. So he helped me to stick to the truth and to make sure that I did the best I could. My mother taught me the art of giving. I can say something beautiful about my mother. I left my work to take care of her when she was dying, just to make her feel that she didn't lose too much with the death of my brothers. And what I noticed about her was she kept giving everything she had. She shared her property, very little though, but she gave out everything and was left with only a cloth and underwear when she died. So she had nothing. Even the infusions we were giving her, she used to give it to visitors who would come. Just like an old man would come to visit her, she would say, well, get this for tobacco. And that touched me a lot. So when she was dying, I asked her, Mom, do you have anything to tell me? She said no. And I felt inside me that if you can't see what I'm doing as the message I'm giving you behind, then you forget about what I'm going to tell you. Experience is the best teacher. You've seen that I'm giving, so also give. And that was a beautiful thing.
Very beautiful thing.
My father, I will go back to him, taught me one thing. He said, he used to drink a lot and he'd have a lot of fun. And when he comes, he would look at me and say, Abdulai, God loves you very much. He's not like a human being. He will never abandon you. That give me a faith in a God who loves me beyond my crimes, beyond my sins. And that no matter what happens, whenever I have a problem, I will remind God about what my father told me. Okay. Don't forget, my father said you love me very much. And God has never abandoned me.
But you were not born with the name David?
No. I took it when I was going to school. And when I went to a Christian school, and then they were asking us to get baptized, I said, okay, I choose David.
Any special reason?
Yes, David killed the Goliath.
So you were primed to bring down the giants in this, who will stand in your way. Poverty being the chief giant, so to speak.
That's right, that's true.
I see, and so you're killing the giants every day in the lives of many people.
Well, we can thank God for that, I really think.
Were you born a Christian?
No. I was born a traditionalist. This is interesting. I was born into the traditional family. We used to have a shrine where we used to go to worship and all that. When I went to school, we belonged to a clan which had a shrine. But even in my house, we did worship. My father used to kill once in a while when he could lay hands on a chicken. Then he would kill, and that would be the occasion we would have some meat to eat. But otherwise, that was the end.
But you kill the chicken for the shrine, but you eat it.
Yes.
Because the shrine can't eat the chicken.
You can't eat maybe the blood, we put a bit of the blood and the feathers on it, but the chicken we ate. Yes. Then I went to school, and they talked about Christianity. I got baptized. Okay. All right. But when I was in the second,
did not object. Or you don't object.
They didn't object. Well, I was useless. If you want. What I didn't say was that I had stopped school in 1960 because I could not find school uniform. And when a Catholic priest brought me back to ask my father to allow him to send me to school, he said, well, he's good for nothing anyway. So you can take him whatever you want to do with him. So my religious inclinations was not any factor in my relationship with my father. Whatever I did it was all right. Okay. How do you think of it, the religion of a street boy? I was a street boy before, so it didn't matter. So my father didn't object to it. But Nevertheless, when I got to the secondary school,